Hi YouTube. I've been wanting to share some deeper thoughts I've been having about the significance of lucid dreaming. And first off, the lucid dreaming phenomenon inserts a consciousness where you were in a say you were muddled or absorbed into the dream state and were not aware that you were something else. You were actually asleep and having a dream that this is something taking place in your mind. And then you suddenly become aware that this is going on, and you kind of break that trance, in a sense, of the dream state. And yet you still remain in that state, but you're now aware of it from a much higher perspective, or an expanded perspective. Now, the way I eventually trained myself to get into lucid dreams was to get in them from the waking state, not just to become aware at night that you are dreaming, but to wakefully induce lucid dreaming. And my technique I liken to say, body surfing, but you're doing it with your consciousness, and you're gradually slipping into the dream state while surfing onto this focus of awareness that maintains your wakeful consciousness into the dream state as it forms around you. And suddenly you're out there and you're in the dream state, and yet you never really lost your consciousness of who and where you are. And so that's another technique, and I simply did that by relaxing over time. And I had a very strong intention to remain aware as I would fall asleep, and I would pay a lot of attention to the various images that were forming around me. And it's somewhat of a tricky, narrow kind of path to catch, but I kept at it until I was able to do this. And then as the dream would form around me, I might be starting to get caught up into it, but then I would be very much ready to shake myself out of falling into it, and I would then become fully lucid. But what I see is a deep significance of lucid dreaming is, and I mentioned in one of my previous videos about what there's a group of Tibetan yogis who they were the dream yogis, who use this as their lifetime discipline, the dream yoga. And the whole purpose of that was to prepare themselves for dying. And I don't know if that sounds morbid, but the real thing is that they realize that when most people come into life, they completely lose consciousness of who they really are, in the sense of their connection to God, of their connection to the greater being of the universe. And so they would use lucid dreaming to train themselves to not lose consciousness as they would then fall asleep, which is basically akin to the moment of death, when, as death is approaching, we would, if you merge your consciousness with God at that point, which is the whole goal of many yogas, and especially the way that they would with the dream yoga, the idea is to somewhat do like I was doing, and I would fall asleep and merge into the lucid dream state without losing awareness, is to be able to consciously and joyfully merge at the end without losing a sense of who you are from one state to the next.